Hi, I'm Cade,
And I'm Bobby.
and welcome to the Newstead Group's Explainer series.
Okay, Kate, so let's discuss the legal side of the process to the extent that we can, and the relationship that you might have with your solicitor or lawyer or conveyancer.
Yeah, so generally the conveyancing law is essentially where this all falls under when we're looking at property. There are many different types of laws, as you're aware. But when we look at conveyancing law, it's basically the transfer of property or disposal of property from one entity to another entity. So if you're buying your first home, you will generally need to have a conveyancer or a solicitor involved in your transaction. There is a big difference between the two different service providers. I guess from my perspective, a solicitor is always more favourable from my perspective, purely because they are actually accredited by law to offer advice. When it comes to a conveyancer may not be able to provide advice. They might not have the full qualifications to be a solicitor. So just check with your conveyancer, can they actually give you advice on this transaction, legal advice? Because sometimes during the process, and especially while buying your first home, it's a pretty daunting journey. It really can be. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say you buy a place and you realize that something's actually wrong with the property. But you still want to buy it, you just want to get it fixed. If you go to a conveyancer, that's a pretty big process for them to start negotiating on your behalf. They're very transactional in nature, it can be a little bit harder. But if you go to a solicitor, they might actually be able to give you some advice around how you can tailor your negotiations, because they've done this before quite a few times. Might be reducing the purchase price, might be fixing the problem before you settle on the property. So solicitors can be more favourable, but they are more expensive in most cases. And we won't go through price points at the moment. But you're looking at low thousands, basically, very low thousands when it comes to the conveyancing side or property transfer side of the transaction.
Okay, so in short, while it is possible to have the same end result through either a conveyancer or solicitor, a solicitor is able to provide advice if there are additional complications or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
They maybe a bit more expertise in the finer details of things,
definitely.
and the advice is the biggest point of that.
Yeah.
So a solicitor can provide advice. And how do you reach out to a lawyer? At what point in the process would you...
I would say just before you sign the contract is definitely my recommendation. So you're looking for a property, whether you have pre-approval or not, besides the point, you're looking around, you find a place that you actually want to buy. You want to make an offer on it. You ask the real estate agent, they provide you with a contract. You need a second pair of eyes at that point, and we can't give you that, not to that extent. That's where a conveyancer or a solicitor comes in, preferably a solicitor.
Fantastic. So, again, we have a number of solicitors that we work with closely. If you do need somebody, just reach out to us. We'll provide you a list of people we've worked with regularly.
Conveyancers and solicitors.
Yeah, both ways. And they all do great jobs.
Exactly.
Thank you.